Hey guys, it's Gideon. In my last video, we talked about node sieges, so today I want to talk about node wars and give my impressions. So like any impressions video that I do, this is not intended to be a complete guide on node wars, and let's be honest, hardly any of us will ever be a mayor and be declaring a node war on another node. But a lot of us are going to end up being combatants, whether we're planning to do it or it just happens to us. So I want to share my experience participating in a node war from start to finish and talk about what went on, what it's all about, the fun factor, and then share some closing thoughts. So functionally, how does a node war happen? Well, in the game, you have various territories called nodes, and nodes are run by mayors. And a mayor of one node can declare a war against another node. That's how it triggers. There's no notice, there's no preparation period, at least how it is present day. That doesn't mean that, there isn't going to be preparation by discussing it in game or Discord or something like that, but that's functionally how it happens. So the people that are involved in the node war would be all of the citizens of both nodes. And in case you're not familiar, once you hit level 10, you can become a citizen of one and only one node. Once the node war is declared, the citizens of both nodes are now in PvP mode. They can freely fight each other. There's no corruption or dropping gear, because of corruption and stuff like that. It's the same as node sieges or caravan PvP, any sort of event PvP, it behaves in that fashion. And you might ask, well, okay, what is the purpose? Like, what's the victory condition? What is the reward? So to win a node war, right now, it's a race to 800 kills. It's the first of 800. The reward, fun and bragging rights at this point. But we'll get into the experience. Can you opt out? What if you don't want to participate? If you don't want to fight, you're online, it's declared, and you're a citizen of one of those two nodes, you can just simply make sure you're not in either of those two nodes. So for example, if Halcyon declares war on Winstead, just don't be in either of those two zones. Go to Nuela, go to Miraloth, go somewhere else, go to the desert, right? So as far as the experience of being in a node war, first I want to say I'm a busy guy. I don't have a ton of time for extended play sessions, but I kind of lucked into my first node war experience. So with no notice on a Saturday morning, Halcyon, actual pirates, Thor, whatever you want to call him, decided to, on his stream, declare war on Winstead, which is run by the Federation. Our mayor is Kyle. So I was playing a little bit. I was about to log off, and all of a sudden that happened, and Federation rallied the troops in-game Discord. As many of us hopped on as we could. I'll give you the punchline up front. It was a heck of a battle, super intense fighting, lots of back and forth strategy, moving around the maps. We were outnumbered. We came out on top, which is really cool, and it was good vibes all around from Pirate, from our leadership, everyone. So that was really cool. The war itself was a lot of fun. So since actual pirates declared on us, or I should say Halcyon declared on Winstead, they were ready. They knew what was coming. We got caught a little bit off guard. But that added to the fun too, because we had a lot of actual pirates show up. We had to kind of bail outside of Winstead, group up, get what raids together we could. I was fortunate enough to be in the main raid, which was a lot of fun. We played a lot of cat and mouse and strategy with them. Charging on a specific gate, falling back, trying to draw them out. They had more numbers than us, so your experience is gonna vary, based on who you're playing with, if you're in Discord and stuff like that. But being part of the Federation, being in Discord, having experienced PvP shot callers was was really, really cool. You know, I'd like to say that we were making 100% of the best decisions all the time, but that's never going to happen in, you know, any kind of, you know, large scale war gameplay. I will say our shot callers made really good decisions the vast majority of the time, but you know, we experienced maybe overextending a little or getting flanked. We also experienced, you know, in a more positive light, having good counter pushes and wiping out, you know, a bunch of their players. Another thing that we did is, you know, that both nodes are in play. So we would have a smaller force, you know, kind of hang around to make it look like we were regrouping, when in reality we were all booking it for Halcyon and going to wipe out as many people as we could there. You know, we also were careful in like the ways that we traveled between nodes, like how often were we fighting and sticking in one place versus, you know, going to another place. Because remember, this is a race to a number of kills, right? So with this, every death, every kill counts towards that end goal, hitting that 800 and achieving victory. So it was a ton of fun being in a large group, being on comms with good comms discipline, and rolling between nodes, trying different tactics. You know, Pirate Software was in the sky on his mount. There was a node war that late into the night before, so we didn't have Kyle, our mayor, on his mount. But, you know, I think our scouting game was stronger, and he eventually came online at the end. So it was just really, really interesting gameplay. You know, we saw a couple actual pirates that were not flagged in any way because they were scouts and they were not citizens of either node. You know, we saw those guys following us around too. So it was kind of cool to see some sort of like scout spy play and counterplay as well. I do want to say the fun factor was really high. Did we get showered with gear for winning? Did we get a bunch of experience? Did we get a bunch of gold? No. The reward is the experience, is the fun. I will say a huge factor in the fun factor of an event like this is having a really good organized group to play with. So, you know, shout out and plug for the Federation. Discord.gg/the Federation. Check us out. I'm just a run-of-the-mill casual soldier, so I have no you know, nothing to gain by recruiting folks other than more people to play with and have a good time with. I should also say that event, that node war that I just happened to get to participate in, is the most fun event or most fun gameplay session, or both of those things combined, that I've had so far in Ashes of Creation. Now that doesn't take away from some of the fun experiences in the Tower of Carfin or the pocket dungeons, you know, doing PvE content. It does not take away at all from the node siege testing. You know, those are close, you know, second, third, fourth, fifth place things, right? Very fun things. But this by far was the most fun that I've had in the game. In closing, I think the Node War system is a ton of fun. It is a great base system for Intrepid to build on, like so many of their other things. I can't wait to see what they do with it, you know, how they address, you know, how often you can declare wars, what potential rewards could be in the future, all that kind of good stuff. I'm really curious also to hear, what has your experience been? You know, what do you like? What do you not like? So drop a comment or, you know, hit me up on Discord, whatever. And until the next one, peace.